Mortal Kombat! Oh shit! I'm okay. Whew. Welcome to Big Mike's Real Reviews, and I'm Big Mike, and this is going to be my non-spoiler review of Mortal Kombat. So, Mortal Kombat is the new movie based on the Mortal Kombat video games, and I have to say it was pretty good. It was pretty good compared to like the 1990s movie. So, 1995 was the first Mortal Kombat movie. I remember it fondly, of course, because, you know, being a kid and playing the Mortal Kombat games, you know, growing up, you know, I actually really loved the first movie. By the time the second one rolled around, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, we just won't even talk about that movie much because of how everyone received it. You know what I'm talking about. Let's just forget about Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Now let's focus on Mortal Kombat. So like I said, it's going to be my non-spoiler review, so don't worry about any spoilers or anything like that. I'm not going to drop anything that wasn't, you know, previously in the trailers or any details like that. So, Mortal Kombat, like I said, it was a pretty good movie. The first act was kind of choppy. The first 7 minutes of the movie was released earlier this week by Warner Brothers. Now, I don't know if you stayed away from that as well, but it opens up with the, you know, feud between Scorpion Hanzo Asashi and Sub-Zero being Bihan and their respective clans. I mean, if you play Mortal Kombat, you know, you already know there's a big feud, you know, between the Shinrei Ryu and the Lin Kuei. So you should be well versed if you're a Mortal Kombat fan in that feud and, you know, what happens. And that was shown in the beginning of the movie. And then we get introduced to, you know, the new character that was made up for this movie, which is Cole Young. You know, and he's a cage fighter and everything like that. And the fights, like I said, the fights in the movie were actually pretty good. The first act was kind of choppy because they're trying to introduce everything, and I don't think they hit every mark. The actors, they did their jobs pretty well, you know, as far as the script is concerned. Jax, you know, even though he looked a little bit like Steve Harvey with that big old crustache on his face, I liked his character as, you know, for as much as he was actually in it. You know, even Sonya, like I said, all the actors did pretty well. I did like the diversity of the actors as well. You know, Raiden was, you know, an Asian character, even originally. So I like how they introduced that and they didn't, you know, try and, I don't want to say whitewash, but, you know, just, you know what I mean. They didn't want to do that to, you know, discredit the diversity of the movie. So I really did, you know, enjoy that. The fights were good. The movie, like I said, it kind of was choppy. It had real pacing issues. The issues was in the pacing, in my opinion. Like the first act was a little like, okay, you know, trying to feel its, you know, feet under itself a little bit. But the second and third act picked up quite a bit because you had, you know, more fight scenes and everything. Now, I don't necessarily consider this a spoiler, but if you're expecting the tournament, you're not going to get it in this movie. This is kind of like a lead up to it or a build up to it. And I guess they're hoping for sequels, because if they get the sequels, then, you know, you'll get more of the tournament and everything like that in, you know, the sequel movies. Because initially I read that the actor who played Cole Young, he said that he had signed on for, I think, 4 movies. So they're actually anticipating this to, you know, go on, and hopefully it does do well, because I am hoping to see, you know, how this transitions into more movies. I did like the, you know, the second and third acts. I thought they were pretty good. The fighting was actually really well choreographed. I really did enjoy that. I mean, it was still kind of cheesy and silly. I mean, it kind of reminded you of the 1995 version of Mortal Kombat a little bit in its cheesiness, but I mean, it still was like less cheesy than that. You know what I mean? Like they still tried to establish a little more story and everything, you know, to kind of bring it up to modern times. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, it was pretty good. But the true scene stealer in this entire movie was Kano. I mean, every scene he was in was heightened just because he was in it. The Australian actor that they had playing Kano was perfect. I mean, he was obviously the comic relief. He was a complete asshole. And I mean, he was everything that Kano is supposed to be. And I mean, right up there with the fighting, I mean, Kano comes in at a really close second about the best parts of this movie. And every scene was heightened just because he was in it. I mean, he stole every scene. He kind of made the movie, you know, for me. Like, for me, the most second, like I said, second to the fighting, the most entertaining part of the movie was Kano. I mean, that really kept me entertained throughout, you know, the times that Kano was in the movie. And, you know, with that being said, I think I'll give this movie, I don't know, C minus, which is like a 7 out of 10. I usually rate it, you know, with the number system. So 7 out of 10, which would be like a C, C minus, you know. Like I said, it was okay. It wasn't great, you know, but it wasn't that bad either. You know what I mean? It wasn't Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I mean, it wasn't that bad. So, like I said, I give it a 7, which is, you know, a C or whatever. I thought it was pretty good. I was entertained, you know, especially, like I said, the fighting was good. And, you know, Kano kept you entertained throughout. So, hey, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And please share. Also, don't forget to hit that bell for notifications for all my latest content. And once again, thanks for watching and see you next time.